Fourth grade, today what you'll be working on is practice color sections for our Chuck Close self-portrait. Our top three are just 3 sections of trying different skin colors. The next one is 3 spots for hair, 3 spots for your clothes, and then 3 spots for your color. When you're finished with this, you'll actually just be circling which one you like best. Obviously, if you're not a fan, you can grab another worksheet and try a 4th, 5th, or 6th. Before we start, please write your first name, your last name, and your class code, which will be up on the board. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with skin colors. In the past, I didn't really want this to be much of a color project, but kids got really crazy with the colors and their faces got so dark from purples and greens and blues and blacks that it was really hard. So then I really said we need to make sure that we're using colors from Skin Oil Pastel kits. So on the counter, we have leftover Expressionist oil pastels. These are from kits with colors specific for doing different types of skin colors. So the blue buckets are different colors for skins. We don't have enough to have everybody having their own special kits, so when you walk over, you'll just grab whichever ones that you think will be useful today. You're only going to be picking 2 or 3 colors, and then when you're done with them, you can go ahead and put them back for other kids to use. So that's what's in the blue containers. Also over at the counter is just our basic 12 color kit. There are some skin colors over there. We have a peach, we have white as a color option, pink, browns. So you can use these as well, but mostly we'll be using these for doing our hair, clothes, and our background. The one thing you're going to notice right away is each one of these boxes has been split up into 4 smaller ones, and that's because the artist Chuck Close used grid systems for his drawings. So in box number 1 for skin, you can start with 2 or you can pick 3 colors. I'm going to do just 2. I like to keep things simple until I know exactly what it is that I'm making. And you're going to start by just making a very simple organic shape. It could be, a wobbly oval or a wobbly circle, but it definitely doesn't need to be perfect. And I'm going to start in the middle because when we're working on this project, if you see an open box, you're going to want to start on the inside and work your way outward. So I just went ahead and made this organic oval. I call it organic because I didn't use any stencil. It hasn't been generated by a computer. It's just kind of a man-made organic shape. I'm going to go around that with my opposite color, creating a bit of a pattern. And I'm going to finish off by filling in the rest with my first color. But if you've chose 3, then you would go ahead and use your 3rd color. So that would be how you would fill out one of your boxes. When you move to your next box, you want to alternate the pattern. So if you started off with the lightest color in the middle, now I'm going to go ahead and start with my darkest. I'm going to change up my shape a little bit. And for this one, I'm going to do more of like a organic square. And then I'm going to go around that with my lighter color. finish off this box back with my darkest. And this is going to be a great pattern to use for your face, as the high contrast between light and dark will help your picture from getting repetitive and too boring. I'll move down to my next two. Same thing. I had a light, so my next box I'm going to start dark. I'm going to do the same one that I did up on the top, starting in the middle with just a free-form organic shape. Work my way around it. And I'll finish it off with my darker color. I have one box left, so I'll finish it off, maybe repeating a similar shape from box number one. Now, oil pastels are a lot of fun because they're very smooth. You want to apply a firm amount of pressure, and they look a lot more like paint than if we were using crayon or colored pencil. So that would be my practice for box number one with these two colors. So still thinking skin color, I'm going to go ahead and finish off my second and third. Please try different colors. Obviously, if you're a big fan of the peach and you want to see what it looks like to do another color with it, you can use the peach and get rid of this. But again, when you're finished, you'll be picking which one was your favorite, circling it, and then that will be the color combinations that you'll be using for your project. So once you're done with your skin, before you move on down to your hair, take a good look at these, see if one of them is your favorite. Again, if you need more practice with skin, you can grab another sheet and do 4, 5, or 6 different skin colors. I really like the first one, which sometimes happens. You just get really lucky out of the gate and you find, a color combination that you really like. But my favorite part about doing these worksheets is I really liked how I alternated the shapes. So this one is more diagonal, this one is more horizontal, and this one is more vertical. So even though I'm not a big fan of this color, I definitely am probably going to use these types of shapes and changing them up so that they're not so predictable, circle, square, square, circle, when I use these colors. So I'm going to circle these colors, but I'm going to remember these different patterns that I created with the shapes inside of my boxes when I go to do my self-portrait. Once you're done with your skin, you're just going to work your way down onto hair. Now I know for skin color, I said I really wanted us to focus on skin tones from the blue containers. For hair, you can be a little bit more adventurous. If you really want purple in your hair, you want pink or green, I'm okay with that because obviously when we go out and about, we see people with some pretty creative actual hair colors from hair dyes. So if you want to, you can get creative with the hair colors, or you could stick to more traditional hair colors, which I'm going to probably do for my 3 practices. So I have, this goldish color, yellow and browns. Again, I'm probably just going to switch up and see different patterns and different shapes just like I did before. So you can go ahead and do the exact same thing as we did for the skins, changing the patterns of the shapes, changing the patterns of the colors to see which one it is that you like best. So for my hair, go ahead and select which one that you like best. I ended up liking my second one, which is really good because it shows that by practicing these and trying different colors, I'm really making sure that I'm going to get exactly what I'm going to like when I work on my large project. The last thing that we want to do is have you spending weeks on a project only for you to not like it because of the way it was drawn or because of the way it was colored. So for drawing, we always have our drafts, and for our colors, we always do these very small, quick color trials. So don't spend a lot of time on these. You don't need to spend, a full class or even 2 full classes doing these. Just try to get through as many of these as you can before you start working on it on your big one. So after your hair, you'll go ahead and you'll start working on your clothes. Starting with our clothes, again, you can go ahead and pick any variation of colors. So I kind of came up with just a small handful of ones that I think that I might like to try together. So you'll do the exact same thing we did on the clothes and the hair. Switch up different shapes. Hopefully by now you're getting a little bit more explorative with the shapes and patterns. This might be a time where if you've been only using 2 colors every time, maybe to start branching out and trying a 3 color pattern, or maybe you like 2, so you can go ahead and keep doing 2. So the next 3 are for what colors do you want your clothes? Don't forget, after you're done with your clothes, go ahead, circle which one that you think you're going to be using for your project. And I am all over the place here, so I mean, I like my first skin selection, but I like my second hair, and I'm really liking my third pick on clothes. I liked orange and blue, but I wasn't a big fan that when the two colors hit, they started making this muddy brown. So this one looked a little bit cleaner and brighter, using colors that were too close. Not something I wanted to do for this project. So I am going to go ahead and stick with my green and pink. Next, you can go ahead and start working on your background. When you're ready for the background, you will be done with your self-portrait, which means your skin will be done, which is a big majority of the project. Hair, for boys, a little bit smaller. For girls, hair may be, probably bigger than the background. And the clothes is such a small portion, so the colors that I chose here I wasn't really worried about, but the background for a majority of you is going to be the second biggest next to the skin from your face, neck, and ears. So you really want to look at what you've been choosing for colors and find colors that are either going to push your face forward, meaning if your skin colors that you chose are really light, you may want to go and try some darker colors for your background, so that way using a lot of yellows and whites for my background is going to make my skin really stand out. If you're somebody that chose darker colors for your skin, you're going to want to stay away from darker colors for your background. It's just really going to hide and camouflage all the hard work that you've done. So maybe some lighter colors in contrast with the darker skin or the darker hair would be a really great choice. So everybody should know what to do. You got 3 tries at your background. Again, if you don't like any of them, grab another sheet. Even if you only do 1 from a second sheet or 2, you don't have to do all 3. And maybe you just wanted extra ones for your skin until you are satisfied. Go ahead and do that. Remember, these worksheets are for you to make sure that when you go to start working on this project for several weeks, several classes, you are really just enjoying the process instead of trying to think about what colors you want to use and what colors you don't want to use. This sheet is your thinking sheet. After this, you should just be grabbing your self-portrait and just really enjoying using oil pastels. Alright, you guys, go ahead and select which one is your favorite. Again, I'm going to go with my last one. I really like the contrast between yellow and red, even though they are both warm colors. Red is a very dark warm color and yellow is a very light. And I really appreciated how when they mixed, I didn't get this gross ugly brown. I was getting this nice cool orange color. So that's all things that help me make the decisions that I have. So once you are done with worksheet number 1, you can go ahead and start working on worksheet number 2, where we're going to kind of see what these look like on half of a face. So we're not going to do a full face, but I kind of want to show you what's going to happen when we don't have full boxes. Like, how do we color around eyes? how are we going to color around our nose or our glasses or our mouth? And we can kind of see these colors next to each other for the very first time on a smaller scale before we go ahead and commit to our full-size self-portrait. Great job. If you did not get a chance to finish this in one day, please don't spend more than 2 class periods on this practice worksheet. Even if you only do 2 skins, 2 hairs, 2 clothes, 2 backgrounds, having 2 to look at and picking which one you like is still better than just doing one and being stuck with it. So good job today, 4th grade. Again, after this video, go ahead and go on to worksheet number 2.